the better thing would be to do some stretching and exercises and things that will allow you to have the endurance you need to be able to support that for longer periods of time. And just practicing and rehearsing won't do it, because you're essentially in a static position for a long period of time, and that doesn't really strengthen the muscles as much as movement. So
dynamic movements, right?
Dynamic movements, yes.
Yeah, that's the key.
Absolutely.
And last question, and again, thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely.
What would be a good kind of exercise that we can do for prevent some injuries? And people also said that doing weights, for example, is bad for musicians.
No.
No? Why? Please, let us know.
Absolutely not.
Listen that.
So the thing about weights is that there's two types of exercising against resistance, or there's probably multiple, but there's two types that people think about the most. One is when you're trying to build muscle, right? So you see the big bodybuilders in there lifting really heavy weights, trying to really put on a lot of muscle mass. And then there's the conditioning exercises, which are more lightweight, more repetitions, and you're really just toning the body. And for a musician, that's probably the best type of exercise to do. Not that you can't put on muscle mass if you want to, but for I'll call it the average musician, that's not something that they need to do. They don't need to be, big and strong to do it. It's more about, are their muscles capable of handling stress for long periods and then being able to recover from that. And that's where the high reps, low weight will get them used to being able to do that. So they do a lot of work for a longer period of time, but it's not super stressful, but it's enough to get the blood flowing, the muscles moving. It will tone them. It'll allow them to have better posture. I give a lot of musicians, regardless of whether they're woodwinds or percussion or strings, anything, like one of the best things that you can do for strengthening is you all need to work on posture. Like you mentioned, when you're young, we do this a lot. And but better, especially for winds who need to breathe a lot, like getting and opening up their chest is super important. So the exercise that I think is almost the best for around the thing is any kind of a row where your arms are up and you're doing this, and I'll show the camera. So you don't row with just your arms, you actually want to row with your shoulder blades, where you're squeezing them together and holding them for a little bit and then releasing. And all you really need is a band or a tubing that you can get from a therapist or online to do that. You don't need to necessarily even go to the gym. It's something you can do at home.
So that also means no excuses, right?
Yeah, it's easy. Yeah. As far as stretches, since a lot of what you're doing is mostly upper body stuff, I usually focus my stretches with instrumental players on their hands and their neck and their upper back. So for your hands and your fingers, string players and also any player who like a clarinet or flute, they're going to be doing this a lot, right? And so they have a tendency to get something called carpal tunnel syndrome. It's a very common thing. Pianists, same thing. And so one of the best stretches for that is just what they call a violin stretch, which is, or a prayer stretch, where you just put your hands together, keep your palms together, and then you slowly move down and let that stretch the flexor muscles on your forearms. The other thing is you can do a reverse one where you put your hands against each other from the backside, and then you kind of go up, and this will stretch out the top here. Then you can go literally finger by finger, stretch each one out. And I'm going through these quickly. It's really best if you just take your time. Like I said, you're like an athlete, and it would be horrible if, like a runner, just started running without doing a warm-up and without doing stretching, because they're more likely to have injuries after that. And the same thing happens with musicians as well. So doing a little warm-up. For your neck, simple stretches are the anchor stretches, where you kind of hold your hand, you sit down, you hold your hand, and then you just grab your head, and then you just kind of stretch it over. Again, it's slow movement and then go to the end point where you feel the stretch and relax a little bit, and then repeat that a few times until you feel like you're starting to move better. So those are just a couple. I mean, you could probably do a half an hour
Yeah,
on stretches and
I know.
little exercises that could be done to help musicians have better posture.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ginn. Um, I love what you said about we need to change our mindset
Absolutely.
because if we don't do that, we will not be able to play for all of our life, right?
Yes.
So, just to finish this, how as a students we can come to the UNC Health Center and be able to use this very, very important tool that the school provides?
Yeah. So the health center, we have a chiropractor, which is me, and we also have massage therapy here on site. Currently, we're here on Thursdays, and all you need to do is call the Student Health Center phone number, and typically Brittany will be the one who will take your call, and she'll get you on our schedule, and we'd love to see you.